Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy, healthy life with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. I'm your host, Jimmy Apple. How you doing today, my friends? You feeling good? You feeling strong? You feeling better than you did yesterday? Excellent. You can't ask for better than that. Hey, let me remind you, An Apple a Day is brought to you by www.famousapple.com. Famousapple.com is the home site for this podcast, so if you get a minute, check it out. Hey, while you're tripping around the web, make sure you check out famousapple.com/group. That's the group page for the podcast here. It's our group page on Facebook. That's famousapple.com/group. That's an Apple a Day page on Facebook. Go over there, check it out. We got a nice little group, people chatting, people asking questions, people answering questions. We got some polls up there. You meet some new friends. You might make some lifetime friends over there. You might be able to help people. People might be able to help you. So you get a minute, check it out. Hey, we got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking about COVID-19, naturally. And I want to point out something to you. People are becoming very, very lax. You know, it started with the holidays. They told us all that we shouldn't travel. And what happens? Millions of people, they were like, yeah, screw that, we're traveling. They don't care. And what happens now? Day before yesterday, we turned the big number. We surpassed 500,000 deaths in this country. Do you realize that's more dead people from this coronavirus in a year than all of the wars combined in the 21st century? That's right. More people died in a year from the coronavirus, COVID-19, than all of the wars in the 21st century. That's freaking ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's scary, my friends. It's scary. In a year. And I'm talking about from World War I, 500,000 casualties of the war on this coronavirus, COVID-19. And people are going to get lax. They don't want to wear a mask. They don't want to wear the disposable gloves. It annoys them. Well, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that. And it's going to be gross. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. It's going to be gross. Because it's gross that people can be that stupid, that lax. But we're going to talk about that. So, usually I tell you to sit back, relax, but you know what? Sit back, hold on, because we're really going to jump into this with 2 feet. Let's get started here. Now, if you're eating, I suggest you stop eating or you pause this until you're finished eating, because this is going to disgust you. My wife and I pulled into a gas station, and this fella in a Ford Focus pulled in next to us. And I watched as he wedged himself out of the car. This guy had to weigh at least, I'd say, 350 pounds. He gets out of the car. The car gives a sound that sounds like a sigh of relief. He gets out of the car. He's wearing those long shorts. Now, mind you, it's like 18 degrees out. Long shorts, a hoodie, his hat cocked to the side, baseball cap. His socks, his white socks, looked like they had food stains on them. His pants had grease stains on them. His jacket was filthy, and it definitely couldn't close around him. His shirt was filthy. His hands were filthy. He gets out licking his fingers. It looked like he had chicken nugget sauce on him. And he proceeds to adjust himself in his shorts, picks up the pump, no gloves, no nothing, and proceeds to fill up his car. In the meantime, he's still licking his other fingers. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I hope the guy that was there before us didn't do this. But we have gloves on. And I'm thinking to myself, the person that comes after him, I hope they have gloves on. And just the thought of that was disgusting. And he finished filling up his car, wedges himself back into the car, shuts the door, reaches over, and begins to eat again. After just disgusting. We were in the grocery store about a half hour later. I don't use an ATM machine for nothing. Everything I do is with my debit card or a credit card. If I need cash, which I hate, I don't use cash anymore for anything. Nothing. But if I need cash, unfortunately, I'll have to go to the bank and get it. I don't use cash for anything. Everything I do is with a credit card or a debit card. Anyhow, I'm looking at these people online using the debit machine, and they're no gloves. And there they are, hitting the debit machine, taking cash out. Do you not think? Not for nothing. Money is the dirtiest thing in the world. The dirtiest thing in the world. Now here's just a little bit, the tip of the iceberg. Think about where a $10 bill has been. Now, this isn't all the places. This is just a hint, okay? $10 bill could have fell on the floor. Somebody could have stepped on it. Could have been on the floor in a bathroom. Somebody might have had it in their mouth while they did something else. Could have been in a stripper's G-string. Could have been in a woman's bra. Could have been in somebody's shoe. Could have been on a bar. Could have been in somebody's underwear. Could have been in a mechanic's hand. Could have been in a gas jockey's hand. Could have been in a garbage pail. Fell on the floor in a garbage area. Could have been on the floor in a bathroom. These are just little places that it could have been. Could have been somebody sneezed in their hand and had the $10 bill in their hand. Could have been anywhere. And then it comes to you. And then what do you do with it? Somebody might have used it to snort cocaine. Somebody might have used it to clean their teeth. Somebody might have used it to pick their ear. Somebody might have been chewing on it. And now you have it in your hand. And what are you doing with it? You're going to put it in your wallet with the rest of your money. And then you're going to take it out and you're going to spend it. But all of those germs now are all over your hands. It's nice to have cash in your hand, isn't it? Oh, and what are you going to do? You going to clean that money? No. You could avoid all of this. You could avoid it all by, instead of using cash, using your debit card. But if that's not an answer for you, then wear gloves when using cash. I know that's inconvenient, but you know what? It's a small inconvenience by saving yourself and protecting yourself and protecting your family. Look what you can avoid by wearing gloves. It makes sense. And you can tell me, yeah, I wash my hands. But if every time you use cash, you could wash your hands, that would be great. But when you're out, you don't have a rolling sink following you around. Do you have a bottle of hand sanitizer in your pocket for every time you use cash? I doubt it. Glove. It's a simple solution, but people just find it inconvenient. The easiest solution is to use your debit card. It'll save you in the long run. But people just find that too inconvenient as well. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Next, let's take a look at shopping in general with and without gloves. Okay? Let's move on here. All right, let's talk about shopping here. Now, for the most part, most stores that I see in my area have signs on the front doors that say, no entrance without a mask. No mask, no service. And that's great. I agree with that 110%. But I think they should also say, no gloves, no service. I think it's disgusting when you see some of these people going into, especially the gas station stores, you see them, they're out there pumping gas. They got their hands on the gas pumps. They're pumping gas. Then they're wiping their nose with their bare hands, or they're sneezing into their hands, or they're coughing into their hands, or they're wiping their hands on their pants. Then they go into the store, and whatever they're looking for, they pick up items off the shelf, and they put them back. This is too big, this is too small, this isn't good enough, this isn't warm enough, this isn't cold enough, whatever. And they're putting it back. And then they go pick up something else, and they take it, they go up, and they pay. Now somebody comes in right behind them, and they pick up the same things that they picked up, and they're like, okay, I'll take this. Now, the guy before them, he was sneezing into his hands, he was wiping his runny nose, he was wiping his watery eyes, and he was handling the same things that this guy just picked up. And nobody's wearing gloves. We've become too complacent. All right, so they're forcing you to wear a mask to come into the store. But you're still picking up this stuff that this guy just picked his nose, or picked his ears, or rubbed his eyes, maybe scratched his ass, adjusted himself, whatever, with his bare hands, and he's been manhandling the stuff in the store. Now you just picked it up to buy it. God forbid it was candy or a bag of donuts or something like that, and you're going out in your car in the gas station, and now you're eating them. God, that makes me sick to even think about. I don't understand what the hardship is to wear gloves. My wife goes into the grocery store and she comes out and she says, people must think I'm a germaphobe, because when she goes in, she's wearing the mask, she's got her glasses on, and she's got gloves on. No matter what, she's always got gloves on. Hey, you got to protect yourself. I see these people with the full face shields on, and I say, good for them. Good for them. They're protecting themselves. And then I see these other people, for lack of a better word, they're pulling their shirt up over their face. Come on. What does it take? You buy a box of disposable masks. What do they cost? $10? And you put it on, you go into the store. Do you know now, in New York State, to go into a federal building, you have to wear 2 masks. That's right. One over the other to go into a federal building. You can't be complacent. You can't take things for granted. You're talking about your life. Like I said in the last part here, 500,000 people in 1 year have died in this country from this rotten, vile, disgusting disease. And you're going to be complacent? You're going to be lax about this? You're going to complain because you got to put on rubber gloves? I said it to somebody. They said, well, I can't find rubber gloves and I'm allergic to the powder that's in them. You can get the gloves with no powder in them. You can get them without being latex. You can get the disposable vinyl gloves. Go to famousapple.com/gloves and you get them powder free. So you can't tell me you can't find them. They're right there. You can't tell me you can't find masks. They're all over the place. You can't tell me you can't find hand sanitizer. It's all over the place. It's not like it was in the beginning. Even toilet paper is still available. But, stop being complacent. Stop being lax about it. Just because they got these shots, I still have my doubts about these shots. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling anybody not to take the shot. I'm not telling anybody to take the shot. I just have my doubts about these shots. And Fauci, in today's paper, is saying, well, maybe it's time for people who have the shots to start to mingle. How can you even say that? These shots haven't even really been tested. There was an article in the paper a couple of weeks ago that they were doing the testing on the shots, and the people who were getting the placebo decided, well, the shots are available. They're going to go get the shots now. How did they even know they were getting the placebo? That's what I want to know. But it threw the whole test off. So that test got scrapped. I mean, this testing that they're saying they're doing, that's a joke to begin with. Like I told you in a couple of episodes ago, I was in a test for Plavix. For 5 years they tested that. That was just for a blood thinner. This here, you're talking about life and death with this killer disease, this vile, disgusting disease. And they're just popping these things out one right after another. Today I seen Johnson & Johnson has a single dose vaccine. How do you know? I mean, they're just popping them out. Everybody has a vaccine now. I'm waiting. Good Humor should have a vaccine now, the way that they're popping them out. I don't know. And I'm not telling anyone not to take it. Please. That's not my intent here. Taking or not taking the vaccine is a very personal decision. No one can tell you you have to take it, or no one can tell you you don't take it. That's your decision. Although, I will say this, I heard about a waitress in New York who didn't want to take the vaccine. They fired her. I don't understand how that happened. But I'm telling you, wear the gloves. That I'm going to tell you. Wear the gloves for your own safety. Don't get complacent about things. You know, like this, there's signs all over the highway. Covid-19 is still a risk. Duh. Who said it wasn't a risk? Why? Because they're coming out with these shots? Please. COVID-19 is a risk. COVID-19 can kill you. Coronavirus can kill you. Do everything that you can. Do you know when someone comes to my house, a repairman comes to my house, they come to my house, they have to put on gloves, they have to put on a mask, and they have to put on shoe coverings. I had them. I went out and I bought them. I have shoe coverings right at my front door, gloves I have, and masks I have. And if they don't want to wear them, they don't come in. And I've never had a complaint from anybody. So that's the way it is to come in my house. My immune system is compromised because of my health. So I have to be careful, and I don't want my wife catching any of this. We have friends that have caught it. I have a friend of mine down south who's a cop that caught it. He's been laid up for months in a hospital. He's going to rehab now. This is a vile, disgusting disease. And I just, for the life of me, I can't understand how people are acting like it's nothing. So please do whatever you can to protect yourself. Whatever you can do to protect yourself, please do it. Not only for yourself, but for your family, your friends, and your neighbors. Please. Well, before we go, I want to share some interesting facts with you. Our numbers on the podcast have been going through the roof, and I mean unbelievably so. I told you before, we're heard in 78 countries. That's right, 78 countries. And this week alone, the top 10 countries that are downloading us just this past week are the U.S., naturally, the United Kingdom, India, South Africa, Germany, France, Jersey, not the state, the country, Belgium, and Spain. Those are our top 10 downloading countries this past week. And I'm talking thousands of downloads. It's amazing. And we owe it all to you guys, all 78 countries. And I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for stopping by today. I want to let you know, this is our 197th episode today. Just 2 more episodes and we're at number 200. And that's all because of you guys. So I want to thank you. Again, thank you for stopping by today. And I want to remind you, things can always be worse. No matter what, there's always someone somewhere wishing that they were in your position. So things can always be worse, my friends. Hey, you've been listening to An Apple a Day. My name is Jimmy Apple, and I will talk to you again in a couple of days. Have a great weekend, my friends. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.